I just think it's going to be a firefight, and it's going to boil down to the 11th and 12th round. I think that's how close it's going to be to where whoever win those last two or three will win the fight. But I think it's going to be some controversial scorecards, and I don't know who is going to come because we got to think of it like this. This is what people don't really realize. The judge is humans, right? So out of these three judges, one gonna like one more than the other. Just naturally, you always have a fighter that you like better than the other one. So if it's close, they gonna give it to the fighter that they like better.
Off of
Even
style
if,
alone.
that don't mean it's a rivalry, but it's like, oh man, I like what he did better. They might say, oh, I like the way Terrence was moving and hitting them, and
So
but they
judges will
might,
be biased at this point in time.
yeah, and they might say, oh, I like the way Errol was pressing him, and he made Errol move. He made Terrence move that way. Terrence was moving and outpointing him, but another judge could say, oh no, he made Terrence run from him. So you got to think. You could look at it like we just said, De La Hoya and Trinidad, right? Remember that fight? Everybody said De La Hoya ran. He was really just moving, but the two judges didn't think that. They thought Trinidad made a move like that because his power. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to boil down to that. Which judge like the power and the pressure, and which one like the slick mover and the counter puncher and Terrence Crawford. But I think it's going to be like it's going to boil down. In my opinion, I don't see it being a knockout. I think it's going to boil down to the judges. I think it's going to be a majority or split decision or a draw.
I've seen you in the gym around Bud. I don't know if you've ever been able to share the ring with him at all, but have you?
No, but what's crazy? Me and Bud was roommates when he first turned pro. I'm a few years older than Bud, so he actually was living with me before out here in Vegas. So yeah, so I seen his rise to the. That's why I give him a lot of credit, man, because he was overlooked. Like we had the same manager at the time, and I was telling them how good this cat can fight. They was underestimating him, like literally, they didn't think that he would become what he became, even halfway. Like he was through in to lose some of them early fights that he won. Like to be honest with you, with dudes like Gamboa and the dude that knocked out Khan, them was fights that they just threw him in there like, oh, let's just see what happened, like and get our money off of him. But Terrence rose to the occasion. He like real competitive and real. If you doubt him, he just hold that chip on his shoulder. Like he one of them kind of dudes. Like he's competitive, man. So Earl gonna have to almost like and me being around and seeing Earl box Mayweather a lot. They just seem they got similar. They got similar. They both so competitive. There's no way this can't be a good fight because if one of them is down, the other one gonna turn it up to the point. Neither one of them want to lose.
How was that? How was that? This is going to be a completely separate video. Tell me, how was that sparring? No,
You talking about with Earl and
in Mayweather.
um that made me a Earl Spence like that made me an Earl Spence fan because I'm like at that time he ain't had many fights. He might have had 13 fights or something like that. And I didn't even know who he was. Like, I heard of his name, like from, the younger cats I know, but when he came, sparring with Floyd is a whole different animal. Like with him, you gotta be like you damn near like it's damn near boxing him, it's damn near like you gotta have a Navy SEAL type mentality with him. And the main thing with him is boxing him more than once. Cause a lot I've seen people get Floyd work one time, like, but he'd destroy you after that. So Earl at the first couple, he was right in there with Floyd, like at the beginning of the camp. And then he stayed consistent through the whole camp. Like I probably seen him box maybe 7, 8 times. And Floyd did everything in his power to break him mentally. Everybody in the gym cheering and trying to break him. But Earl, like, I love it. Like, he embraced it and went all the rounds with Floyd. Like, that's what made me impressed with him. He never folded under the pressure. He didn't, and Floyd respected him. He was like, man, all right, damn near like initiation. Like, you made it. Like, I never seen him have respect for somebody that he sparred with like Earl.
When was that like after he said you fight pretty good like what did he say? He said you fight pretty good for a bitch or something
Oh
like
yeah, oh he was doing all that. Yeah, Floyd the king of the mind game. He like Muhammad Ali when it come to the mind game. So he and then Floyd is different in sparring. He more aggressive. Like he throw more punches and take more risks because you know it's big gloves and it's a headgear. So
and there's no money
Floyd
in
will punish you. I'm talking about if you see Floyd sparring in the gym, you'd be surprised. Like, you know, he box way different in the gym than when he fight. He move and he fight smart because he's small. He's
it.
still a small welterweight and junior middleweight. So, but yeah, but Errol, I was real impressed when I seen that. Like, you know, him and Terrence both earned whatever credit they get. They both earned it. Like, you know, Terrence I seen recently in the ring. I mean, months ago, just jump in the ring and spar with Shakur and like three more guys. He wasn't even fully in camp. And he went 12 rounds or something. Like, so I'm like, damn, both of these dudes just like freaks. They like, and one thing that I like what Earl said, and this why you got to look at him a certain way. He compared himself. I think I heard him say Tim Duncan,
Yep. Tim
and
Duncan,
and,
Kevin
and by
Garnett.
him realizing and knowing that, like that's what made him dangerous. Is like, oh, I ain't the flashy Michael Jordan or the Kobe or LeBron. Like that's more, you know, probably more Terrence. Like the Terrence more could be like a Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
He realized what he is. Like he not delusional on that, like looking flashy and this that. But I think what Duncan got 4 or 5 rings. Tim Duncan, he got the job done. One of the best fighters ever. That's what made Earl dangerous to me is he know what he could do and what he shouldn't be doing. Like when he boxed Floyd, he wasn't sitting in there trying to. You ain't gonna outbox Floyd. Nobody in this 12 round era will outbox Floyd. I don't care who it is. Your best chance for him is landing a lucky shot, knocking him out. Like nobody will outbox Floyd. Like you know, you have to go way back to one of them bigger welterweights, probably like Sugar Ray or Hearns. But I don't see. So to me, Earl and Terrence both know what they can do and what they can't do to a T. Like automatically, if one fighting and it's like, all right, I'm losing at this, you're gonna see shifts all through that fight. Like, you know, but I think it's legitimate. I think it's the best fight, but hands down in boxing in the last at least 10, 15 years.
Do you believe that like a lot of people said that Spence got over on Mayweather? Is that true or was it just very competitive sparring?
He might have like once, but it was still like competitive. See, Floyd's so dominant that if it's just say it's super competitive, you damn near give it a win. Like, because you're not used to seeing nobody hanging there with Floyd like that. So even if Floyd like edged him, because I wasn't looking at it from a perspective of who won. I was just so impressed with Earl because I didn't know who he was. So I'm like, damn, he came at Floyd with no respect. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of dudes get in there and they be scared. And I mean, they be so scared, they be hiding behind heavy bags not to get in there with Floyd. Because he got a group of sparring partners that's like a group of them, and they all gloved up with headgears on. None of them know which one going to spar with Floyd. So Floyd to see one hiding, he'd get him and tell him to get him in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So with Spence, it was like he was ready and he delivered and he like none of the shit talk or none of that matters. So it was like one or two of them was probably like even.